Hello, everybody. Welcome to the True Tellers podcast. I'm the formerly corpsified Patrick Garfield here in place of my wonderful friend Franklin. Our guest here today is the ex-African warlord, now spreading his message as a fitness instructor, Dabius Stronk. How are you doing today, fella?
I am doing absolutely fantastic, and I am so happy to be here in the great US of A.
Absolutely glad to have you here. I'm not always, the most happy to have new immigrants around. How they be sometimes. However, you are a man with a lot of accomplishments and a great message to spread.
That is exactly right. I come from the very back of the Congo. It's the very lowest part. But I will let you know that I also am not of the same opinion of the so-called immigrants, but I call them vermin. They are sort of locusts upon the American people. So what I go ahead and do is, as I was coming over to this beautiful country, I brought with me a small sword of sorts, and I would pop all of the dinghies that were trying to cross from Cuba to Miami.
That's some absolutely righteous work, let me tell
Down
you.
into the drink they go. They will never be able to come here and vote for, oh, I don't know, what is it called? Welfare. Something I will definitely not use, and I've never signed up for it all. Definitely don't look at my records. I am an independent black man all the way to see the promised land.
That's a damn fact. I wish there was more of you types of people coming into this here country, because let me tell you, I mean, the way you describe those people, I absolutely agree to the fullest extent. Because let me tell you, I know that there are some breeds of people that these kinds of immigrants, so to speak, they're not even really human. They're actually just like big mosquitoes. They fly around, and I mean, people will never believe you, but they'll catch you off guard and suck your brains right out your skull with their big nose sticker that you know how mosquitoes have.
Yes, exactly, proboscis. I know exactly what you are talking about. You know, there used to be a lot more of me. However, sometime around, oh, I don't know, 1600s to the 1820s, a lot of my people were brought over by boats. And this is what I call a freeloader. And that is chapter one in my fitness instructional book. You do not be a freeloader. All of these people were living in the Congo, and next thing you know, they're hitching a ride right over to beautiful US and they pay nothing for it. That is why chapter one of my book is do it yourself. And we also provide the alphabet in the index because most of the Africans I sell this book to do not know how to read.
That's a shame. Let me tell you. I mean, I met a lot of black folk in my time, just kind of meandering
Negroes,
around.
please, you're being too politically correct with black folk, okay? It's Negroes. That's what we like to be called.
I mean,
That
if you
is the
say so.
politically correct term, yes.
I mean, if you say so, I heard some say they don't, but I'll take your word for it, honestly. Uh, but during my time meandering around, I met a lot of these Negroes, and I mean, a lot of them, these poor kids living in the Detroit. I heard that that none of them actually know English. They actually all speak. I don't know how this happened. I believe it's because of some kind of mismatch where they accidentally put the wrong disc in when they just they were playing a movie and the teacher went and smoked weed or whatever the hell they were doing, but they accidentally put in Star Trek and now they all speak Klingon.
Exactly, and that is what we call cultural appropriation. I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous to think that us African people would need to learn Klingon. I mean, it is absolute bullshit, and it is part of the democratic system to try to keep the black man down. And that is why I have created, with the money I've gotten through my fitness instructor books, to pump as much lead based water, like we're doing in Flint, to raise the IQ of my black brethren. It is the only solution. It will fix the total destruction the lefters have caused upon my people.
That's some real facts. Let me tell. I mean, I know for from personal accounts that what you're talking about is 100% real. Because I personally take I believe it's 50 milligram tablets of lead every morning, and it's helped keep my mind kind of chugging along. Which is you got to have nowadays, and so you don't fall into these lefter schemes.
Because the lefters want to try to, make the entire environment outside of your house. I lived in the jungle with the dinosaurs that have yet to go extinct. And what did I do? Every day I ate a bowl of dirt, stared directly at the sun, and then consumed mercury off the back of my grandfather. And I am doing absolutely fine.
That's the way to be living life, I tell you. I mean, if some people in this country took after, what you're teaching and what you do in your own personal life, I mean, I think we'd be a whole lot better off.
Yes, you should have freedom for everything as long as you're not a lefter. And then instead, I will use my first and foremost proclamation and land doctrine against these people. I will come at them with machetes. I will come at them with rifles. If these fucking bastards try to take me down again, I will wipe them out. Schools, churches, no matter what. I am coming. Sorry, that's just part of my let's call it healing from when I was a very decorated warlord back in the Democratic Republic of Congo. But that's, again, let's take the freedom from the Democratic Republic of Congo and bring it over to America to make it more free.
I, that's probably the best thing I heard in weeks. The best idea that is, because I mean, then we'd be a real democracy.
Exactly. As soon as a American child goes into school, they should recite the Pledge of Allegiance and then shove a blood diamond directly into their anus for 24 hours before they distribute it directly to me.
Hell yeah, brother. Let me tell you. Speaking of governments and whatnot, I don't know if you've been watching the news lately, but have you heard what Joe Biden's been doing? This damn husk of a human being, this brainless fool, this old bag of dementia and poop. He
Emphasis on poop. He is
emphasis
very
on
poopy,
poop.
man.
I mean, that man. Let me tell you, there's been several times live on the air on the news. He has shit his pants, and you can hear it. But they try and lower the audio. But let me tell you, you can hear it. You can hear it squishing his pants, and you can see on his face. You can see his expression when it happens.
Yes, he did it directly in front of the Pope, who, as we all know, has advised that everyone in Africa who has AIDS is not to use condoms, because he is a true savior of my continent.
Absolutely. I got to stop myself from going on a tangent about that there, Pope. But and what you was just talking, because he's done a lot of great things for Africa and all the different countries in there. But this poopy Biden boy, let me tell you, he somehow got himself a scholarship to the electoral college. And if you don't know, that's what governs who gets elected for president. I mean, if you have a scholar, you win. That's what happens. If you got a scholarship, you win for free. And that's not how that's supposed to happen.
Exactly, and I will let you know. Obviously, in America, there is a thing called affirmative action. And when I arrived, as bad as I feel it is for the black man to, uh, live his own way. We are naturally subservient. Anyways, the biggest part is I thought, you know what, let me try this, action out. And I tried to go to the Electoral College, and they said, "Sir, this is not a university." To which I replied, which is the sound that my machine gun makes. I made it out of twigs and straw and bulletproof glass. And before I knew it, I was being escorted out by the police trying to, just join the Electoral College. And next thing I know, they are calling me a domestic terrorist and a school shooter. Luckily, I was able to use affirmative action in a different way when I was not charged due to racial prejudice by the one white cop who kicked me in the shin for half a second.
I'm really amazed by you and your people's ability to really kind of pull yourself up by your boot because I know how hard it is to make homemade firearms and to manufacture just weaponry, especially automatic weaponry. I mean, I've spent a lot of time learning it myself. I personally manufacture. You know, I won't go too into depth because I'm sure the ATF would not be happy with me. But I spent a
Yes.
lot of time manufacturing in mass homemade assault rifles, and it's a very tough progress. And I do it with metal and whatnot. So if you hearing that you have made this a similar type of outcome with just twig, I'm absolutely amazed.
Yes. I mean, like I said, that was a long time ago. Certainly before Joe Biden actually got the scholarship to the Electoral College. After my Electoral College affirmative action plan failed, I switched instead of using sticks and stones and glass to make weapons. I switched directly over from a 3D printer I was able to steal from a Kinko's, the only Kinko's left. I stole it from them, and that is how I am forming my new sorry, not army, not what is it, child soldiery, no, sorry, it's not that, black activism group, wink wink.
Oh, I understand what you mean, 100%. Speaking of activists, I believe there's I don't know if it is concluded by the time that this is being recorded, but I've seen in the news that an activist has been causing some kind of situation at a synagogue in Texas. Although it's being claimed by these lefter news outlets that it's some kind of hostage situation and they have weapons or something, but I believe that everything's going to come to a close because I mean I don't know exactly this person in particular that's causing this problem here. However, I have heard that they're planning on stopping this. Is they're going to get big speakers outside the building and play that song replay by whoever the hell that was. You know, the one that goes shoddy like a melody, whatever. But
Was that Nelson Mandela, or am I thinking of the wrong troublemaker?
I think it might have been Travis Scott. Actually, are you talking about the guy who made the song? Or are you talking about the person that's causing
uh
the situation?
no, I'm talking about this song.
Yeah, I'm unsure of who of what of when that is of when who made that song. Uh, but I do know that song makes me feel really good when I listen to it. So I mean, knowing that, I think that hopefully that situation will come to a close peacefully.
I mean, there is nothing the Jews love more than a bunch of angry people standing outside of their synagogue singing the song, and sing it with me, just that one part. Are you ready? One,
Yes,
two, three, go.
shoddy
Shawty's
like
a
a
melody in my
yeah.
head. Exactly. And who, if they, if I mean, the real reason they're doing this is the fact that as soon as you hear that song played properly, you want to blow your head off. Therefore, making the one hostage taker sort of moot. You know, it is like Eric and Dylan ending it all in the cafeteria. Now, pump some speakers into that cafeteria, or even the library, as the police were watching on as they murdered so many people. If you just put a tape into the boombox and played "Shoddy like a melody in my head," you would probably have saved at least two more children.
100%. I mean, I think this should be a tactic that is used more often. However, I think it has to be a little. You have to be careful because you can't just use any old song. It's got to be this song because I mean, we all know how Waco transpired. I mean, they played. I believe they played a Travis Scott song at the time, and that was obviously that was psychological warfare. But this I mean, if you're playing replay, this could really be a tool to save thousands, millions of lives.
Exactly. I mean, I was in Rwanda in the late 90s, and a lot of people say that the genocide was commenced when someone over the radio gave the order to cut the tall trees, when in fact that was incorrect. What started the Rwandan genocide and the call to power by the militants with the machetes was in fact a Travis Scott song, which is funny because at the time he was 13 years old.
He's been causing trouble for a long time. I mean, I believe
He was born naturally and he killed a midwife as soon as he came out of the vagina. Just the sound, that sort of thwomp, as soon as he came out, led immediately to the death of a midwife.
I know he also strangled his 6-year-old brother. Uh, he was 6 years old as well at the time. I think they may have been twins actually, but he strangled his brother, uh, and there was I don't know if he ever was charged for it at the time. I mean, I surely hope so. He should have been put in federal prison for the rest of his life.
I mean, also, which one of us have not strangled a 6-year-old child, you know? When I am trying to take over a brothel in the middle of Burundi and little Timmy will not charge the door, of course I am going to strangle him to sort of show, not my war crimes. What is the word that I've come up with to avoid legal trouble? Ah, yes, fitness. It's sort of a fitness incentive to cut off the oxygen from a child that will allow his eyes to bulge out so he can see the real world and knows that he has to go in there or I will hack him from pieces to pieces. You think Idi Amin was bad? Motherfucker, I will eat your dick for breakfast. And again, that's all part of my fitness instructor.
I know that's actually a great workout technique. My sister Bethany actually uh, uses this a lot. I know she actually cuts off all the oxygen to her brain for several minutes at a time while she's exercising, so that she can get more done better.
Yeah, that's happened several times in two of the Planet Fitnesses I have owned. A lot of sweaty white people come in and I say, look, my friend, this treadmill is not going to fix what you are losing slowly in your marriage as love. Okay, this is not going to solve your problem. So why don't you just take this rope, walk into a very, very purple locker room, put it around your neck, and have a good time watching uh, Mia Khalifa pornos from 2015. And you know what? They lose 30 pounds. Mainly because it's been 6 weeks since we find them, and the rigor mortis has taken its toll.
Speaking of Planet Fitness, I gotta go on a little bit of a talk here, because that damn place, I get real upset. I go in there. I used to go in there a couple times a week to try and get myself in shape or whatever the hell. And let me tell you, I was in there every day setting off that damn lunk alarm, and it made me real pissed off. Those damn the goddamn schmucks who worked there. I tell you, I almost blew the one fella's head off because he kept yelling at me, "You can't keep throwing around dumbbells." I said, "Motherfucker, I'm gonna rip your fucking head off and put it down the toilet if you don't get the fuck out of my way. I don't give a shit about your goddamn lunk alarm. I'm gonna put a goddamn lump on your brain."
Exactly, and they automatically send. They set off the lunk alarm if you walk in there with a, AK-47 and around a dozen children behind you. What I tell to them is, I say, my friend, I have captured two other Planet Fitnesses. I am here to get these soldiers, these child soldiers, fit and ready to storm the Capitol on January 6th next year. Okay? And they'll set off the lunk alarm. The only thing is, the lunk alarm doesn't call the police. The lunk alarm only makes me far more violent. And I'm sure that's what you went through as well, right?
Absolutely. Personally, if I were to be running some Planet Fitness or any fitness place, I might have a an equivalent of a lunk alarm, but it would only go off when gay people walked in.
Exactly. That's what I would want when I have my 30 children, in the Planet Fitness. However, I would not put lunk alarms above the bathrooms because that is where I train them and I will not accept any questions about what I just said later on.
That's fair enough.
Because it's not like I'm gay, because if I come in there, the alarm would have went off. But instead, I come in, the alarm doesn't go off, everyone knows that I'm safe, I'm not a homosexual, and I'm good to be in the boys' locker room with no supervision.
Absolutely. Speaking of without supervision, it seems that the CEO of McDonald's has been getting up to something a little frisky because it was announced last Friday that all McDonald's locations worldwide are being closed after the CEO of McDonald's was caught on Twitter following, I believe, upwards of 30 different furry pornography accounts. And if you don't know what a furry is, it's basically these degenerates that like to fuck animals, and they do it all day long, and they draw these pictures of them doing it. It's real graphic. They also are extremely, they hate black people. So I mean, do what you will with that, but it's, I mean, it was a shock to me because I go to McDonald's every day. But they're closing all of them, and it just kind of seems like the CEO here is in a bit of a scramble. What do you think about
Exactly.
that?
Well, first of all, let me just say I am very glad that it is McDonald's that is shutting down and not the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Because if there is one way for me to be happy in the United States of America, it is the fact that as I walked off the plane from the Democratic Republic of Congo, Customs took away my rights and replaced it with chicken from this man named Colonel Sanders. Now, you know, I used to be a colonel myself, and as far as I can say, he has definitely led to the death of more chicken than I have led to the death of innocent women.
Absolutely. I mean, Colonel Sanders, he's a prolific person in general. I mean, he's integral to the development of the United States of America, if I do say so myself. I mean, without Kentucky Fried Chicken as a business and as a corporation, I mean, we wouldn't have a large proportion of the black community, and to an extent, I value them in certain aspects sometimes. Uh, but at the very, I mean, it's integral to, I mean, the operation of cities like Detroit, uh, Minneapolis, specifically around that area where that one fella died. Uh, but I mean, Colonel Sanders has done a lot for the entire country. I mean, when we were under attack by that billionaire guy named Doctor Weevil, I believe his name was. I mean, Colonel Sanders stepped up and he stomped on that guy's skull live on TV and saved the whole country.
Exactly. If you're confused about that, simply Wikipedia Colonel Death Stomps Clown. And that is exactly what has happened. Ronald McDonald is dead. He is no longer here. And a lot of you people may be depressed. But hey, you know, with every dying McDonald's comes a new KFC that is guaranteed to not hire any of these deviant zoophile furries at all whatsoever.
Absolutely. Speaking
I,
of cums, there was also this one. There's not too much to be said about it, but it was reported last week, I believe, on Thursday, that these nurses in these high octane hospitals where they're running around, they're real packed with people with the quote unquote COVID. Apparently, it has been unveiled that they got some big scheme going on where they've been injecting semen instead of the COVID vaccine, quote unquote. Which, I mean, to be fair, is just as bad as being injected with semen, but I mean, it's still quite horrific.
exactly. And also, I don't know if you have recently heard, but our good friend Bob Saget, who has talked to me for many years, he really was supportive of the diamond industry over in Central Africa. He recently got his booster shot for COVID, and before you know it, he is dead and lying on the floor. And of course, we know what happened there. What happened? Instead of a booster shot, they injected semen into him. And do you know what it did? It completely destroyed his penis. His own penis had been absolutely destroyed by the corrosive semen. So, what were you forced to do after this man has succumbed to COVID? has no penis. They simply put a strap-on on. But what did they not strap on? The supports for the coffin. And the poor man fell out of his coffin onto the floor with a strap-on around where his penis used to be, like the best episode of America's Funniest Home Videos you've ever seen.
That was I saw that because it was streamed live on Facebook Live, and I was shocked. But I didn't know exactly why it was on him at first, and I didn't think too much at first because I didn't know what maybe there was a good reason, and obviously there was because of what you just were talking about. And I mean, some people were mocking the poor man, but let me tell you, I mean, after being subjected to such medical malpractice, I mean, why should anybody be laughing at the poor man? I mean, he raped and killed a girl in 1990, but I mean that was 1990, and I mean we all did crazy things back then. I mean, I ran over several people on accident. Things happen. So why I don't think people should be mocking him for this.
Exactly. It was certainly an American video, but it definitely was not funny. At least, the entire church was full. You could call it a full church. The saddest part about Bob's death is that it came so close to his sister's death, Gay. So, Gay Faggot was unable to survive because of cancer. But she was also not able to go in and work out at the Planet Fitness because the lunk alarm went off. So Gay Saget, Bob Saget's sister, did not get the exercise she needed to beat cancer because she was setting off the lung alarm. And that, I think, in a way, led to so much emotional trauma for Bob Faggot that he suddenly succumbed to the fake disease COVID after getting sperm injected to him as a boost and replacing his penis with a strap-on.
It's truly devastating. Just frankly, I don't even know. I feel as though I have something to say about it. However, my mind's just too racked with grief. I used to laugh at poor Bob Faggot every day on a television when I was a little younger. It's real sad to see him go. Personally. And I never knew about his sister. However, well, I mean. I think we've had today. I mean, I haven't been on the first few episodes of this here pod because I was corpsified. But even though our great usual hosts aren't here, I've had an amazing time here with my wonderful Dabius guest. I can't speak today. My wonderful guest Dabius Stronk. And I think we've had a great podcast. Don't you think so, Mr. Dabius?
Yes, I do. I completely agree. And, just because I am a brand new American cowboy man here in the free world of United States of America, I do want to leave this with a sort of song that I use to rejuvenate my child soldiers so we could press on into Chad. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
It starts like this. Okay. Tobia, ibadaba, ubadaba, ubadaba, appa, mango, guava, ubadaba, kill your parents if you want to follow me. Hide in the tree and drink your own pee. We are warlords. Ho! Ikabaga, clack, clack, clack. See now.
That was frankly beautiful. I mean, I'm in awe right now.
I'll be honest, I'm from the CIA.
Uh oh.